Today is the 28th of November, 2024. By the way, howdy. So what I'm doing is I'm squaring my Varroa Mite drop board, and so just want to get that in and cover the whole bottom of the bottom board. So I'm just squaring this off, and so by doing that, when I put my killing agent on for the Varroa mites on my board, it's going to kind of cover the whole thing so they don't get through the cracks. So I'm going to go about 20.5 inches, square that, and then I'm going to go out. I'm going to exchange. Yesterday I got hundreds of Varroa mites out of my hive. This is the panel that they were on yesterday, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there every day and see my Varroa mite drop and decide whether or not I need to do another treatment of Happy Guard. What happened to the good old days, you know, when you just got some bees and you go, hey man, I got some bees, they're just doing their thing and I don't have to do nothing but go get the honey. Yeah, right? Long gone. Long gone. Yeah. So nowadays, if you want to have a beehive, it's regular maintenance, right? So you gotta regularly maintain that hive, or the odds are about 80%, right around there, 85%, that you're gonna lose your hive. I lost both mine last year because I tried to go organic. I did my best, and those Varroa mites killed my hive, both of them. I had two of them. I did a split last year, got one hive, did a split, bought a queen, split my original hive. I ended up with two hives, and they both got decimated by the Varroa mites. My hope was last year that, you know, the queen would take that 2-week break, you know, and she would be able to manage it, but yeah, that didn't happen. So right now, I'm going to take you back to my apiary, and we're going to see if there's any Varroa mites on my board. So I keep a ready board, you know. So when I pull out one, I can just slip the other one right back in there, and good to go. So I'm going to set you down here. Maybe I'll raise you up a little bit somehow, somewhere. How's that thing raised up? I don't know. Does this even raise up? I think it does. Not sure. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Okay. Well, my original equipment's going to be replaced with some more functional equipment down the road. Right now, it's like life, you know. You use what you got for now, and then see what you need, and you get that later. So here we go. I'm going to set you down right there, and oh, got some dead and dying bees. I just put this angle board on there yesterday. So this angle board comes off. There's a lot of dead bees out in front. And so here's my slider board. I guess I got it in there pretty good. Uh-oh. Got a problem. I got it in there too tight. That's okay. Yeah, it's in there really good. Really good. I wanted to get it tight in there so that that ApiGuard fumes stay in there to help kill the mites. So this is my board today, and I don't see any mites, but those things are really tiny. Those mites are so tiny, it's really hard to see them without a microscope. Some people have magic eyes, but I just have regular eyes. So I slip my other board in there, like that. And I take this, slide that on top of that board you just saw to keep any bees from getting in there, because if they get trapped in there, they'll die. So I just kind of angle this in here, and that keeps the bees getting in there, like that. Take my angle board, put it up here, like that. And so it's really critical, really, in today's world when it comes to beekeeping, that we manage our hives aggressively. And so these are the bees that I collected from yesterday's die-off. Those are yesterday's die-off. What I do is I'll take the previous day's die-off, put them in the main collector. Those are the bees in the last week or so that have passed away, gone to another place. And then I pick up all the bees that I can find, because what I want to do is I want to monitor the percentage of die-off, because the queen, she will lay a certain percentage of bees on average a day. And so what happens is, if you have a higher percentage of bees passing away, dying, than what she's capable of laying, then you're likely going to have a die out eventually. Your hive will eventually die out. So by me doing monitoring the way that I do, I can really track the trajectory of the survivability of my hive. And so what I'll do here in a while is I'll go around and pick up all my dead bees, kind of get a rough count, because I want to see if I have an increasing percentage of die-off, or if I have a decreasing, right? So what I've done is put the Apigard in there, I put powdered sugar in there, and so what I'm looking for is a direction. Where am I going? Am I having a higher loss precipitously or a lower one? So that'll determine what my next move is. Bee management. Yeah, if you're going to get into bees, you know, it's a lot of involvement, especially getting your hive established. Now, once your hive is established, after a couple of years, it'll actually, sometimes we'll end up with Varroa mite resistant. Not necessarily resistant, but the bees will learn how to manage the hive, right? Once you got a good established hive after a couple of years. But you have to work at that. So if you've got one queen that's just not managing the hive correctly, you replace her until you get that queen that creates an environment in the hive where she's managing the Varroa mites and she's producing offspring that, you know, do well in keeping the cells cleaned from Varroa mite infections. So in other words, they take out the infected larvae and they can't bring them out. I've seen hundreds of white little babies, tiny little bees, never hatched. In fact, I've seen a whole bunch of little tiny larvae bees yesterday when I cleaned my board. There was a lot of little baby larvae, bee larvae, that was on my board because what they were doing was they were determined that something's not right with this particular larvae. I think it's sick, and they're taking them out. And that's the kind of hive structure that we all want to build in today's beekeeping, right? A hive that will manage the Varroa mite infection on its own, to where you eventually don't have to do much to control the mites, because they get in the swing of doing it themselves, right? They got the disco ball going and they're dancing all the time and around the infection and taking care of it. So there you go. It's something that people who want to get into beekeeping, it's not like, oh, I got bees, I got them in a box and I'm going to walk away. No. Oh, hummingbird. So it's really a decision that we need to make with the realization that it's an investment, right? You, you invest in the experience, or you invest in the, um, the outcome of maybe selling honey or something, or business, making a business out of it. I'm not sure which direction I'm going to go with it. First, I need to get my apiary established, and that takes time. And I'm trying to do it on my own, so I get one beehive, and then I make my own queens. I'm going to make my own queens come spring, and then I'm going to do what's called splits. So I'll take one hive, and my motivation is, and my goal is to have about 8 hives about this time next year. I'll probably try to work up to about a dozen or more hives before November, and expect a couple of die-offs, and go into the winter next year with 8 hives from this original one. So split this one, make my own queens, and they'll fly out and they'll get mated, and I'll have these little nuke boxes that I've made, and a couple of frames, and so each queen will get her own little hive. It's the same length. I built them the same. I made a video, and so I'll have more of those. I'll probably have a dozen or so of those kind of smaller hives, and I'll just split like crazy, right? Make my own queens, make my own hives, and so mostly what I'll have invested is my time. And so that's today's video on beekeeping. And so, but stay tuned to my workout video. It's gonna be a workout video that takes us from, I can't do nothing, man. I'm so overweight. I can't do nothing. So it's gonna take that very beginning part of when we're so out of shape and we're so overweight. I know I've been there. That I'm gonna take us to from what you do first. Like maybe, you can't hardly move, right? And you just kind of do this, right? You just little stuff. Start out little, right? Cut down on the calories, and slowly work. I'll take us through how we slowly work up to what I do now, and it's about slow progression. Working out slow. Start out slow, because you don't want to pull tendons and muscles, injure your joints and stuff like that. So it's start out slow, start out little, and then the increments. Engage in those increments. You feel any pain, get back off and do a different exercise that doesn't cause any pain there. So once you get up to that top and you increase that intensity, next thing you know, you're running 3 miles at high pitch, and you're working out for an hour. I do what's called aerobic weight training, right? I don't take breathers. I just keep going. Keep that breathing the whole time until I'm totally exhausted, and then I just catch my breath and I go into the next set. And so I'll take you into that type of workout. Extremely healthy for you, and it'll prolong your ability to engage in anything you want up until it's your time to go from this dimension of existence. Okay, you have a nice day. This is Turkey Day. Everybody's gobbling down. Yeah, I bought a turkey yesterday, and I chop it up, put it in little sections, boil the bones, make some chicken broth, freeze it in cubes, and I have it for soups and stuff like that. All right, you have a nice Turkey Day. Bye-bye now. Roll my panel. Bad little guys. Bye-bye now.